Morning, folks. Mr. Schindel here. We are looking at Lab 3A today, so let's take a look at our equipment. In Lab 3A, we're measuring time, specifically when we want to figure out how does our timer work as a stopwatch, and then we're going to get into reaction time of a person versus the computer, and we're going to see which one is better. So we're going to start with our CPO timer right here. Each CPO timer is going to look a little different. For this one, we're going to set it to stopwatch. So I'm going to click that until it says stopwatch. And for us to start and stop our stopwatch is our button up here. You can see it running and being stopped, and then we need to reset that. Part 1, using the timer as a stopwatch, we're going to practice starting and stopping, which we did already, but let me show you that again. Again, our button here, A for this stopwatch or for this CPO timer, starts it, A stops it, and then we reset. Moving into part 2, we're going to observe reaction time. We're going to see the time it takes a signal from your brain to move a muscle, which is called the reaction time. This experiment takes 2 people, so Mr. Pallas is going to help us out here. One person is the watcher. We're going to watch the stopwatch, and the other person is the operator. They're going to be in charge of pushing those buttons, but they're not going to look at that display. The watcher, me, I'm going to select a time secretly between 5 and 10 seconds, but I'm not going to tell anybody the time. I'm going to keep it secret. Our operator, which is Mr. Pallas, he's going to operate those buttons, and without looking at the display, he's going to wait for me to tell him to say, or wait for me to say, stop. I'm going to, for example, if the secret time is 6 seconds, so that's the time I've thought of in my head, the watcher would say stop when the display reads 6 seconds. The observer, the person pushing the button, is going to hit the stop button as quickly as possible. All right, so as you can see, I picked a couple times here. Now, Mr. Pallas cannot see what we have, and I have not told him our time, so they are secret to him. So Mr. Pallas is going to come over. We're going to start our stopwatch. When it hits that time, I'm going to say stop, and he is going to stop it as quickly as possible. He is also not looking at our display. Mr. Pallas, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, here we go. Start the stopwatch. Stop. Okay, so that was our first time. You'll notice that our secret time was 5 seconds. We got 5.51. And some days people are faster than others. All right, here we go. This is time trial 2, and again, he has no idea what the time is. Please start it. Stop. Okay. We're up to our third trial. Please start. Stop. Okay, he is quicker. And we're up to trial number 3. Please start. Notice again, he's not looking. He's listening for me to tell him stop. Stop. Okay. And as best I can, I'm not giving any indication. I'm not saying or anything right beforehand. He's also resetting it. So we're starting here as our last one coming. Stop. And 6.17. So Mr. Pallas, these are his measured times. Here is our secret time. I'm going to do some math and figure out our differences and then calculate the average. All right, so as you can see, we've got our results here. This difference, this 0.51 seconds, is the difference from Mr. Pallas's measured time, the time it took him to actually push the button, compared to the secret time. So I took our measured time, subtract 5 seconds, and I get 0.51. Now we want to figure out what is our average, because as you can see, all our reaction times are a little bit different. So how do we do that? We're going to take all of our numbers, and we're going to add those up, 0.51 plus 0.31 plus, and we're going to add up our last one. I'm going to hit equals, Then we need to divide this number by how many trials there were. And you can see there were 5 trials. So I'm going to divide that by 5, and that's going to give us our average. All right, so in this case, our average was 0.32, and our units are seconds. All right, in part 5 here, we want to go from 1 photo gate to 2 photo gates. So like before, we're going to connect our cords. Again, cord color doesn't matter, right? Electricity doesn't know what color the wires are. Plug one into the side, plug B into the back. What you'll notice is from our perspective here with this camera, we have photo gate A as the first one, and then photo gate B is our second one over here. So again, we have photo gate A, then photo gate B. Always good to know which one is which. At this point, our first question is, how do you start the TA clock? TA means the time at A. So we're going to let Mr. Palace here kind of experiment and play, and you're going to watch and figure out how does that work for him. And again, we don't have anything showing up, so let's see what's going on with our timer. Maybe it's a light issue. Maybe it's a reset issue. Okay, we've got our reset. All right, notice as he went through that first one, A is lit and it's giving us that time. What if we change what's lit? Ooh, now light B is lit, and look at the time there. That's the time for time B. What if both are lit? And that is the time to go from A to B. We're going to call that TAB. Let's run those hands through there one more time. Notice it was started running when he got through A, and it stopped after he finished B.